It's technology expert Burton Kelso here with another tech tip to help you get the most out of the technology in your life. Today we're talking about the fake websites that cyber criminals are starting to develop during this whole COVID-19 pandemic. Cybercrime has risen 30% ever since this pandemic has hit. You may not have been getting your normal robocalls, but cyber criminals have been using different methods in order to get access to your personal data. Now, the old method of using phishing schemes, whether it be by text or by email or even by phone call, are still being used. But now, cyber criminals are starting to develop fake websites that allow them to steal your data. There's a lot of information that people want to know in this whole COVID-19 pandemic crisis, and cyber criminals have figured out ways to create websites that tout information to inform you about what you need to do about COVID-19 or about information about your stimulus check or other small business loans. The unfortunate thing about this is that cyber criminals have started to put templates on the dark web that hackers, either homegrown or international, can use in order to design their own custom website. Now, website design has really evolved over the past 20 or 25 years. It used to be websites were required to be designed using HTML, but one of the first people, or I should say manufacturers, would have been Adobe and Microsoft as far as creating programs that allowed you to make custom websites that didn't necessarily mean that you had to study or learn the programming language HTML in order to develop a website. Now websites have evolved where you've got manufacturers like Wix and Squarespace and even web hosting companies like GoDaddy allowing you to create an easy to use website that you can publish on the web in a matter of minutes. And that atmosphere just makes it a lot easier for cyber criminals to come up with existing designs or new designs as far as creating websites that are designed to trick you. Also with that, it's very easy to utilize form tools to integrate into your website so that people that enter in information, that information can be gathered by cyber criminals and of course used against you. So you really have to be aware of the scams that are going on and learn how to identify these fake websites so that you're not taken advantage of. Now, websites usually can come into play if you are looking for information on COVID. So with not HTML, but with search engine optimization, cyber criminals can quickly optimize their websites so they will pop up first in your Google or Yahoo or whatever search you use, and they can make it look like a legitimate site, and of course you enter your information and it's gone. Now, we'll remind you before I show you some examples of things that you need to take in consideration to keep yourself safe, that this fact, and I've always said this, 99% of cybercrime requires user interaction. Most people, when their information has been stolen or compromised in a large-scale data breach, thinks, oh my gosh, I've been hacked. But in most instances, people inadvertently give out their information to unknown parties. Now, there are instances where your information is leaked in a large-scale data breach, but that's as few and far between as you may think, because we're constantly giving our information out because we're responding to stuff on social media and other emails and texts that are coming into our computers and smart devices. So always remember, requires user interaction in order for you to be taken advantage of. So make sure that you educate yourself, and that's why I'm doing this video, to kind of help educate you so that you can look out for some of those suspicious websites out there. The challenge is that these websites look so realistic that it would be hard for you to tell. But the main thing is you can look at them, but like fire, you don't want to touch it because you don't want to get burned. So with that said, let's take a look at where this information is coming from and how you can look at this information. So a lot of this information comes on the dark web, and on the dark web, you can find all sorts of stuff. But how do you get to the dark web? Well, one of the best ways to explore the dark web is through the Tor browser, Tor, Tor. And as you can see, this web browser is available for every product out there. Most of you that are watching probably have no idea what Linux is, but it's around. But you can download it for Windows, you can download it for Mac, OS, Android, and Linux. But to get an idea of what Tor looks like, there is the Tor browser. And you can use it just like you would do any other browser, such as Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, Safari, you name it. It works just like any other browser. So you can type in specific addresses that are designed for the dark web, or you can do a search with DuckDuckGo. But you could use Tor as a standard browser, but you can also use Tor as a browser to search the dark web. But it's easier if you're looking to find out if your information is on the dark web to use websites like The Hashed or Have I Been Pwned, and that way you can quickly find out information about yourself on the dark web. Now, as far as some of the other tools that hackers are using to create malicious websites, you're familiar with them. So there's Wix, which is a popular website designer tool that you can create custom websites with. And then also we've got Squarespace, which is another tool that people, entrepreneurs and smaller businesses are using in order to create websites. But as you can see with Squarespace, if you click on the templates tab, you can basically go and create on any template that you wanted to do. Let's just say education, for example, and then let's click next. And then you can just basically fill out the blanks and it will automatically generate a website for you. It's great if you don't know HTML and you want to design a business website for yourself or for your company. But the challenge is that with these cookie cutter designs, it's easy for anyone to create a malicious website. Same thing with purchasing a domain. Criminals can purchase domains that are pretty similar to some of the well-known websites out there, or they can create their own custom domain to make it look like it is an official website. So the trick is that you need to know what websites you need to go to when you're looking up COVID-19 information, and we'll go through that here in just a second. So in my opinion, and I'm the expert, you definitely, if you're looking for stimulus check information, definitely go to IRS, and the URL is irs.gov. Now, as far as COVID-19 information, the only sites that I would go to as far as COVID information would be the Centers for Disease and Control Prevention, which is their website is cdc.gov. And same thing with the WHO, or the World Health Organization. Now, theirs is a little bit tricky because they are an international organization. It's WHO.int for international. So keep that in mind when you're visiting websites and looking for either stimulus check information or COVID-19 information. Because if you venture off the beaten path, as they say, you could really get yourself in a world of trouble. Now, keep in mind too, as far as websites are concerned, you can consider these more like phishing websites, and that's almost like a phishing email. These websites tout that they are an authority as far as giving information out about stimulus or COVID, but all they're wanting is your personal information. Sometimes they may even ask for payment information. So cyber criminals have really are you really using the same old methods as far as what they're after, but they're using new technologies in order to trick people because obviously their older methods are being discovered. Most people understand now that if you receive a suspicious email, that you don't want to respond to that email. You can look at it, but you definitely don't want to interact with it. Same thing with phone calls and text. Um, Cyber criminals use social engineering as far as their tactics to try to lure you in as far as giving out your information. You may read an email or receive a phone call or get a text that makes you react as opposed to thinking. So it's important that you think about what you're getting and make sure that you respond accordingly. So in the form of email, phone call, or text, it's easy just to ignore that or to delete that text or email that comes in. But when it comes to websites, it's a little bit difficult. So always pay attention to the URL if when visiting a website. And the other thing you want to make sure that you do is if you get solicitation in a phishing email to direct you to a website that looks like it's from the IRS, World Health Organization, or CDC, you want to not click on the link in the email. You want to open up your browser and go directly to your browser and type in the URL in. Another thing that you want to do is you want to avoid just Googling information about specific websites. Now, for the IRS, since it's the government, obviously they're going to make sure that any form of IRS that you type in is going to pop up with IRS information. Same thing with the World Health Organization. It will pop up. And the CDC, if you type in those words CDC, it will pop up with the appropriate website because they've taken measures to ensure that if you are going to Google search CDC or any one of these websites, that it's going to take you to the right location. So links are always things that you want to avoid, but also make sure when you do visit a website, check out the URL at the top to make sure that it's the appropriate website and that you're not getting scammed or hacked when it comes to looking up information on the internet. And also beware of those ads when you're looking up information on Google. Cyber criminals take advantage of this. So let's say we type in COVID-19 and let's see what we get. We type in COVID-19. Did you mean COVID-19? Of course I did. So for the most part, anything COVID-19 is going to come up with the right information. You won't get ads. But there are some searches that you can do when you're on the internet. You'll get ads. Make sure that any link that you click on is not an ad because definitely it can take you to a malicious website. So hopefully this is giving you some information to work with, mainly to educate you and let you know that there are malicious websites out there that are designed to take advantage of people looking for COVID-19 information or looking for stimulus check information. Always type in the URL or look at the URL and always open up your browser and visit the website directly rather than clicking on a link. So with that said, if you have comments or questions about bogus websites, leave them in the comment section below. Love to answer any questions you have with this topic or any other tech topic that you might have. Speaking of tech topics, be sure to subscribe to myself, Burton Kelso, the technology expert, on YouTube and social media. Same thing with Integral. I always do it the wrong way. Integral, we have tons of tips and tricks that are designed to help you get more from the technology you use at home and at work. So remember, I love technology. I've read all the manuals and I'm serious about making technology fun and exciting for everyone. Take care of yourself and do many things to make you smile.